Oh Arma, you're a game in which I often have only a vague sense of what I'm supposed to do, and yet somehow are compelled to spend hours trying to figure it out anyway. You're a game that spawned me as a seagull often and for no apparent reason, ejected me from a radio tower in my skivvies like I just struck oil, and let me take my pants off at my leisure. You're also an alpha build, and I'm totally cool with that. With that ode to Arma out of the way, here are the top 5 things that new Arma 3 players should know before they get too deep into this unforgiving military sim. Number 1. There are 9+ shooting positions, and some controls you should definitely be familiar with because they will save your life. You can get into said shooting positions by holding Control and using your W and S keys. These range all the way from standing to a side-rolled prone position. Almost all of these positions can also include leaning and or stepping from side to side in some manner. Given that enemy AI and other players tend to be very good shots, you'll need to make the most of whatever cover you have with these moves. In addition, as you get closer to the ground, you'll see accuracy bonuses. Blam! Double tapping Q or E will put you in a permanent lean, which is great for cornering and close combat. The next key you need to know is how to move forward slowly with your rifle raised. That would be the C key, and nope, doesn't happen automatically. Otherwise, you're going to put your rifle down when moving, and any close encounters will end up with you staring at the dirt. Next, let's talk optics. Since Arma 3 Alpha has weapon attachments, many rifles are capable of holding a dual sight. Control right click to swap between your gun sights, which typically consists of a red dot sight and some sort of scope. The last key I feel you should know is the V key. When in vehicles, the default action engaged by spacebar typically switches you between driving and gunning. But there are many times when you need to make a hasty exit and the V key allows you to bail at a moment's notice. There are many other keys that you need to know in the Arma 3 Alpha, so don't hesitate to head on over to the instructions section and read all about it. The second thing you should be familiar with is the inventory system with some improvements added. My recommendation to cut down on loot time is to hit spacebar or middle mouse button before you get in range of the vehicle or body you would like to loot. When you get close enough, the gear option will appear and you can get to business. Arma 3 has both a drag and drop system and the ability to right click on items to automatically pick up or drop them. Keep in mind that uniforms, Kevlar vests, backpacks, and other such items are their own vessels, and you have to double click on them to see their contents. One cool new feature is that you can ditch and retrieve optics and attachments off looted weapons. Carry them with you and swap them as you go. Number 3 is land navigation. Oh boy, Arma 3 is not real big on HUD visual waypoints. Typically, you need to be pulling up your map every 3 seconds to figure out where you are and where you should probably go. But this only works if GPS is enabled, and if it's not, you're back to old-fashioned compass and landmark navigation. One way to gauge distances that's sort of cheating is to aim at something and hit the command menu key, also known as tilde. This will give you the range to target and is also great for figuring out sniping distances. The best thing to do in Arma 3, however, is either memorize the map or stick with someone who already knows the terrain. Keep in mind that K is your compass and double tapping it will leave it up. Arma typically strives for accuracy, so as a last-ditch effort, if you don't have your compass in, say, wasteland mode, you can probably use the sun. Number 4. Armored cars win. Both co-op missions included in the Arma 3 Alpha, Escape from Stratus and Headhunters, can be quickly overrun by armored vehicles. The question is, do you want to be in them or getting run over by them? These vehicles are bullet resistant, can transport multiple people, pack anything from machine guns to grenade launchers, and also make for great mobile cover. That being said, when staring down an enemy vehicle, don't let your AT specialist let loose with the N-Law if you can help it. Instead, disable the vehicle with mines, explosives, or by shooting out the tires, and then crawl up and dispatch its occupants. Next, call your repair specialist up to the front line and have them fix up the vehicle. If you can pull this feat off several times, you'll have a roaming armored column of death. Number 5. Lastly, this is a tactical simulator. You're going to need to listen to squad commands, move and shoot as a team, and get creative to survive. I would highly recommend firing up that co-op Headhunters mission since it takes place in a smaller area, is infantry based, and can be done without other players. Make a private local match, set your squad to AI, and make yourself the head honcho, known as the squad leader. You can take a number of approaches to this mission, including assaults by land and sea, and by the time you beat it on your own, you'll know enough to get into matches with other players and know what's going on. Practice ordering your squad around using the tilde key, so when someone's yelling those same orders at you at some point in the future, you know what you're supposed to be doing. Well, that's it for the top 5 things you should know about Arma 3. Arma has always been a complex game, so it's important to take your time, plan out your assaults, and learn from your mistakes. If you put time into Arma 3, you'll find it to be an immensely deep and satisfying experience. If you come at Arma like it's Battlefield or Call of Duty, you're gonna end up dead a whole lot. Or a seagull. Have you gotten into the Arma 3 alpha? What do you think so far? What are your tips and tricks for surviving your first couple matches of Arma? As always, let us know in the comments, and hey, we'll see you out there on the island.
Here, can we get the key?
Changing mags!